Hey guys, this is Volkin, and my name is Gacha Smack. I know it's been a while since we've last spoken with you guys. Look at his smile over there.
I can't.
You know, what happens, man, is that life gets in the way. Every time it's the same excuse, bro. But when you're a family man in the Gacha space who's got kids, who's got a wife, who's got a business, sponsor commitments. All right, no excuses, guys. I'm sorry, we fucked off for a bit, and now we're back. Anyways, man, Volk hit me up and said he wanted to do a podcast, and this is literally one of my best friends in the space. Honestly, we just wanted to catch up, shoot the shit. How's business going in the space? How's business going outside of the space in terms of touching grass? Today, what I want to talk with him about, he doesn't even know it. I haven't even told him the topics yet, but I want to talk about the upcoming Gacha games, anything of interest in his mind versus my mind. Azir, Permilia, Infield, DNA, Black Beacon, Etheria, Restart, NTE, and Ananta. I also want to talk about my kid coming in June and how that's going to change my life, because me and Volk quite literally will have the same dynamic. One daughter, one boy. So that's going to be cool. We're going to get into the HSR tidbit, as well as a game called Claire Obscure Expedition 33. And then we'll just touch up on how Vulcan's handling his other channels. But that's pretty much it. Volk, you want to chime in anything?
No, that pretty much covers it. I've been like I was telling you before, I've been just like completely locked in for the last couple of weeks, and I'm just trying to do anything else. I've just been like brain dead, just all soaked into what I've been doing over there.
My community misses you, man. They ask about you all the time. No cap.
Yeah.
Like, they always ask, where's Volkin at, man? How's he doing? I'm like, oh, he's doing good, man. He's been grinding it out.
I think for me, like, the problem is that I like, the more I get back into grindy games, the more I realize I'm not the casual Hoyo audience. And so that's just kind of the way I am. Like, I'll play all these new games as, like, I play them as a playthrough game. I think trying to grind these games is just something that is not in it for me. We've always known me as the PvP guy, the guy that wants to grind. And I think they just don't, like, a lot of games since Genshin just don't offer that for me. So that is kind of where we're at. But like I said, with Etheria coming up, I think I'm going to be eating good. I'm really looking forward to that as well. But yeah, I've just been grinding, man.
I want to get into that with you too and pick your head about it. But on that topic, it's interesting because you're such a, like, I guess I would call it based, and you've been in this business a lot longer, doing a lot of things more than people may realize. But it's funny because in the scopes of the mainstream audience, they think, oh, Vulcan I guess he's just not doing anything. But in reality, you're fucking killing it, like, in all these different channels, covering all these different games. But it's fascinating how the typical person thinks that if you're not covering HSR or Wuthering Waves or the mainstream space, you're not doing the most successful. And that's just the furthest thing from the truth.
No, it's like everyone's in. When you have my model, which is multiple channels, which I've got 6 now. As soon as you're not uploading on one of them, everyone from that channel thinks you're dead and you're MIA. But it's like, I'm just, I've always said it to you. I've got this problem where I have to be doing what I'm enjoying the most. And then like, I struggle to do something else when I'm locked in on something. So that's where my attention's been. So for those that don't know what I'm talking about, I started a Raid Shadow Legends channel of all things. Basically, and I know as soon as you say that in like the Hoyo sphere of audience, people already like just get real down on it. But I played Summoner's War for like 5 years before I started making content. Raid is the same as Summoner's War, it's the same as Ep16 in core structure. They're grindy as hell games. And so after Etheria...
There's always something to do.
Yeah, and after that Etheria restart beta, I was like, I need to play one. I couldn't get back into Summoner's War. It just didn't work for me. I couldn't go back there. So I started playing Raid, and I was like, dude, I'm actually having fun. So I hit them up to get... like integration deals and stuff like that. So I made a new channel and I've been grinding the hell out of that. There's a community record for doing like these beginner missions, and the record is 34 days. And I fell into trying to grind and beat this record, and it's making me have absolutely no life. So that's kind of where I've been at. Once I like have an objective, I'm like, I have to get it. And that's where the grindy games are just like a really good thing for me. And I know you're kind of similar with your Monster Hunter channel as well.
Yeah, well, we speak about it all the time, but just the Hoyo sphere, and this is a conversation me and Volk have all the time. They just have a terrible in-game model, right? They just don't have a lot of things for you to do in the in-game. But when you play these other games and the games you meme on, like Raid Shadow Legends, And then there's some new ones coming up on the horizon. But AFK Journey, even too, there's so much more to do in the end game in particular. Like, it's not just, this one mode and this one mode, GG's. I mean, Raid, fuck Volk. There's 17 different PvP modes and 17 different in-game modes.
Yeah.
And it's all very enjoyable and integral to building and developing your characters. Not to mention 18, what I've seen, this is just from what I've seen, 18 different build complexities multiplied times 3, right? That's why there's so much content to make, because they got so many different intricacies of how to go about fighting a fight, which allows people to get strategy induced. And that's what it's all about.
Yeah, and it was like one of those things where I remember back to my days in Summoners War. It was kind of like the tower, which resets monthly, gives you really good rewards. In Summoners War, it was like, you bring some good turn gauge manipulation, reduce the enemy's turn gauge. They don't have a turn, and you're pretty much good. I jump into Raid, and they basically just like negated that on a lot of bosses. Like one of the bosses, you got to have 100% uptime shield. If you attack the boss without a shield, he'll revenge and taunt you if you don't have a shield, meaning that your supports get taunted. All they can use is their basic attack. You can never hit the support, and then when you attack him without a shield, he revenges and retaunts. So it's like your whole team just like, and you have to like, even though I completely overpower that, you've got to actually build the strategy no matter like how much you really overpower the stage, which is something that was completely interesting to me. That, I'm on like these early floors where I like the trash waves, I one shot everything, and then you get to the boss and you can't do damage, because the other thing is like you got to destroy his max HP before you can deal damage to him. So it's like it was just like one of those things where it's like, okay, now I'm grinding, now I have targets and stuff like that, and that's the kind of thing I enjoy. And when you talk about the end game, I know it's a fucking joke with me that I always want PvP, even though I'm the free to play guy. I play everything free to play, even though every game is pay to win. And I still want PvP, and people are always like, why do you want PvP? It's pay to win. I'm like, because it's something to continually work towards. And I don't care if I'm not number one. I don't care if people spending money are beating me. I just want to improve myself. And that's what I've always thought gaming is. I was never rank 1 in World of Warcraft, but I played like 10 hours a day with my mates in 3v3 arena just to get better and have some fun. And so that's kind of where I'm at. And I think, honestly, I feel like I listened to Tectone's last podcast. Okay. And I feel like it was a more common sentiment, unless I was just coping it into existence in my mind, that people were like, yeah, like we need some sort of competitiveness in the games. And for me, when I jumped into Star Rail, like no one wanted to hear the word PvP, but I feel like it's kind of creeping back into people's minds once they're realizing that
back full circle.
Once people are realizing that is an actual end game. Now, definitely you will have people who just want to casually enjoy the game and stuff like that, which is perfectly fine. But I think having options for people is still not a bad option. But yeah.
No, it's not. It's just more. It's more of a well-rounded coverage of what different players want out of a game. And I think that's the problem where we deal with a lot in the gacha space is people always think what I want out of the game versus, well, I could get that while they still get that. It's not like it's optional content. You don't have to do that. But it gets muddied all the time. People always go, well, why would you want that? And it's like, bro, just focus on your own personal experience. You like the single player experience? You can still do that, man.
I always say, so baseline rewards you get are here. If they add PvP, then the people who bare minimum engage with it might get rewards to here. And then the whales who are finishing rank 1 might get rewards to here. But instead of the people who sit here getting to here when it's added and being happy with that, they're like, no, that person's getting more than me, so I don't want it to exist. So they're willing to drop it. Do you know what I mean? But now there is the argument that maybe they take rewards from somewhere else in a game to put it into. In that case, I completely get it. But it's just one of those things. It's like I don't care if someone's getting more rewards because they're spending more money to get higher ranked. Fucking give them the rewards. Like they've earned it. You know what I mean?
That's how it works. That makes perfect sense. Honestly, that's a good fucking point. Honestly, and I think what happens too is in a seamless way. If there were ranking systems, they kind of work themselves out with that dynamic. You kind of see where the free to play audience is going to round out at, and then you see, oh, that's definitely the whales up there. Yeah, and so it's not a big deal. You still can kind of measure yourself against other free to play players. Maybe there should be a incentive, or not an incentive, a particular detail in the game that allows you to see who's spending money, like an asterisk on the name.
Yeah,
That would be
they'll
pretty
never
cool,
do
honestly.
that. They'll never do that because that will make people aware to themselves of how much they're spending. And that, like, I mean, let's face it, when they're designing their games, they don't want you to be like concerned about how much you're spending. I mean,
No, that's completely fair, man.
Yeah.
Regardless, though, I am curious. I guess you know what? Before we go into that, you guys probably want to know about the Monster Hunter dynamic.
Yes.
While we're talking about this, what was cool about Monster Hunter is it's always been, I shit you not, one of the greatest models of gameplay and replayable loops of all time. And I made a whole Monster Hunter review on this, and it did well. I just started the channel; it's already pacing towards 30,000 views, and it's a review of
That's
the game.
huge. That's
But
huge.
What was crazy about it though, Volk, is like I was still putting the game at a 9 to 10 because that's just how good the game is. But I was deeply disappointed in the fact, and this is not a gacha game, that they released a new game and they left out 80% of what they built upon in their previous games upon this game's release. It's like not only did they release the game kind of unfinished, but a lot of the layers that caused people to stick around for Monster Hunter World and the other previous predecessor titles, they just left it out. And they're just like, they're going to bring that back in as time goes by. And I'm sitting here thinking like, wait, why is that not in the game? Like, why are we not starting off where we ended off? With in terms of replayable loop.
Okay, I was going to say, are we talking in terms of the game loop at the end game?
Yes, like imagine Raid Shadow Legends, right? All the layers of content that they've added in that game, or any game in particular. Yep. And then they drop part 2 and they just take away 90% of all those layers. It's just like, why not start with the layers that you already put in the game?
Yeah, it's like I used to play get every Halo game, and it's like now you get Halo 17. Oh yeah, there's no online PvP. There's, you know what I mean? Like, say, okay, like I like the campaign, but I really buy the game to play online. You know what I mean? Like,
what I realized though is it does boil back down to money. If you think about it too, if they drip the content that they already know has proven to be successful over the course of a year, then they're doing less work and making more money. It builds the hype back too. A little bit of hype building as well.
Yeah, everyone's coming in for the launch. They drip in that extra bit. People go, oh wait, that's in there. Okay, yeah, I know what you mean.
And it worked on me already because in this first title update, Volk, they just dropped a title update. Oh man, it's so much stuff, right? It's so much stuff, and I'm so fucking excited. But then after the excitement wears off, I said, wait a minute, hold up. 4 of those elements should have been in the game on launch, actually. But I'm still excited. I get it, but it's frustrating when you see a game do that intentionally, and I know for a fact it has everything to do with a business model of making sure that content's good. Anyways, it's been great. It's been good fun. I'm waiting for them to add more monsters, which they are adding them. They've already added in a gathering hub, Volk, where you're able to go into this hub with a bunch of other players, group up, and go and hunt some monsters. And that's just what it all comes down to. It's going to be fucking great fun.
Yeah. You finish off your thought. Finish.
I would really love for you to get into a game like that because I feel like what it would do is it would give you the insight of a game being so fucking unbelievably addicting in terms of replayability, and it has 0 PvP.
Yeah. Yeah, no.
I know you can't see it. I know.
No. It's not that I can't see it. It's just that I can't do it. Like I'm just if I'm not from now for me, there's only I'm only playing games under 2 conditions, which may sound stupid, but as you get older, it becomes a thing. 1, if I'm playing it with my kids, like we play a bit of Pokemon and stuff like that, or 2, if I'm making content out of it. Otherwise, if I went back to playing World of Warcraft, I'd be playing that shit 14 hours a day. I wouldn't see my family and I wouldn't make any money. I just can't do it. I got to combine the 2 because when you're fortunate enough, like we are, to be, earning an income off playing games, you kind of got to not get too fussy about the fact that you do have kind of what is a lot of people would classify as a dream job. So I try and keep it locked in that my gaming time is my work time now.
No, I completely agree. I think that's I wouldn't say I completely agree. I think the Monster Hunter channel or the Monster Hunter dynamic, it is in the World of Warcraft dynamic. MMOs, it's just fucking insane, right? Monster Hunter, once you hunt all the monsters and you craft up their bodies out of armor and weapon, well, then you can just chill, right? You just come back for the new monsters and shit. It's not the kind of game where you just really play 12 hours a day.
You know me. Do I chill? Like I'm 100% grind, or fully mentally invested, or I'm not there at all. It's
Nah, that's fair.
It's
That's
just
fair.
kind of the way I am.
100 or 0.
Yeah, it's just sort of the way I am. But yeah, no, like just a little side topic that I want to talk about. This is more for us than the audience. The audience might find it interesting, but I loved it when Monster Hunter came out and I was watching your channel because like I am the guy who makes multiple channels and I find nothing more enjoyable. It's kind of like I love re-rolling in a game and playing the early parts of a game over and over again. I just love that fresh feeling of getting progression in anything. And so I was watching your channel when Monster Hunter came out, and then you like start getting, you know, those 3K views, and then it's like, you know, you get up to those 10K views. And it's just like, it's such a fun thing. And I wanted to see how you enjoyed the experience of starting a new channel, because I've done it so many times, like my raid channel. This was like a challenge I wanted to set myself. I've never made a new channel for an existing game. I've only ever done, you know, new games, which is a lot easier to grow in. And like,
of course,
I got my first video to 10K after 2 weeks of having the channel, and I was like, this is massive. Like I was messaging you like, bro, we got 1K views in a day. This is on fire. It's just like a fun progression thing. Who gives a shit about how much viewership you get anywhere else? It's like, that is the project. That's the fun. So how have you found like that experience of the new channel?
Well, first of all, what you said is so true. And you're a man who has experienced 300, 400,000 views in videos, like uploads. But none of that shit matters once you've already achieved that level of success. Going back to square one and going back to what you said earlier, where you're like, oh, we're kind of fortunate doing a dream job or something. For me, what I think about it is, oh, I didn't get lucky. And I'm going to prove that I didn't get lucky. I'm going to go into a different genre and I'm going to build this shit up all over again without any handouts. And when I do it, I'll be able to prove I never got fucking lucky. Like, that is so motivating to me, Volkin. I don't think you understand, because I know it's a very common sense. It's that people say, oh, you got lucky. So it's like, if you could do that all over again and do it again and again and again, at that point, you can prove that it's a bit of a skill. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
and knowing the space. And I feel like the longer you practice something, the better you become a master at it. And putting all of that aside, now the philosophy's out the way, starting that Monster Hunter channel was so fucking cool. Because I noticed every single other person in the space was trying to get to the in-game content and the builds and shit. And here I am telling people how to shoot a flash pot, how to do like the most basic things. But the community is searching for it and they're loving it and they're appreciating it. And it brought me back to such a humble moment of, this is what content's about right here, man. Like, this is it. Yeah. I didn't care about no drama. I didn't care about what was going on in the Gacha space. All I cared about was just like building a community from square one again and being that guy that nobody knows, but everybody appreciates slowly but surely with every upload. Yeah. It's great. It's great.
It's fun being the underdog. And it's so fun. Like I just love it. Like, and it's one of those things where it gives you perspective on other things. It's like you upload a video on your main channel. And it's like, oh, it's only got 20K views in a day. And then you go upload on the Monster Hunter and you're like, dude, we got fucking 3K in a day. Let's go. Like, it gives you perspective on, like, you know, it makes you feel not so bad about other things. And for me, it's one of those things that makes me realize, like, because I've done it so many times now where a new game comes out, I lock in and then I don't like put anything else up on my other channels for like 2 weeks because I'm just locked into a new game. It always happens when a new game that I'm really excited for releases. Like pretty much every recent big game that I've covered, it's the same thing. But it's like, it makes you realize, like, a lot of people, when you've got like creators, one channel and stuff, they get really paranoid when views drop or stuff like that, or they need to do something. It makes me realize, no, I can take a break and I can come back and I can still, like, you know, have a career. You know what I mean? Like, because I can leave channels, I can come back, and then I can continue. So it like makes me realize I can take a little break. But my problem is I never do take a break. I always just go all in on one other thing.
Horizontally progress.
Yeah. I just move to the next one and go all in on that. And then everyone else thinks I'm taking a break.
No, but see, even that though is genius to me. It is, because it's like when something's dead, something's not. It's very simple. It's very simple to understand. And so it's like, while you're sitting here trying to beat a dead horse, brother, just go and go ride a new horse. You know what I mean? And then let that horse break, let it rest, and when it comes back and it starts flourishing again, you ride it again. But like, I love that, Volkin. I truly admire that about you, that you're able to actually realize this game has reached its dry period right now. And when it pops off again, I'll be back. But until then, there's 17 we live in 2025, Volk. There's 335 fucking games dropping every goddamn year. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's just like, why are we having this mindset where I should be confined to one game when 337 games are coming out every year? It just doesn't make sense.
And it also really depends on the person you realize. Like, I'm not a story guy. Like I skip every story. I just don't give a shit. That's why I like games like Summoner's War, Epic 7, Raid Shadow Legends, Etheria Restart, which I am super bloody jacked for that game. The content of the game is not the story. The content of the game is the game that builds the competitiveness. And that's what I personally enjoy. Whereas with these casual games, the thing like Star Rail, for instance, like I loved the game at launch, trying to push it using only 4 stars and stuff like that. I love that early game of these casual games because it feels like competitiveness, trying to grind and get as far as you can, as fast as you can. But then you hit the end game and then it gets a bit stale. So people like me who aren't in it for the story but enjoy the grind, you grind while the grind's there. And you kind of just got to move on to the next thing until you find something that you really enjoy. Whereas people that enjoy the story, well, then you get invested into that story, into the whole universe and stuff like that. And that's why you play that. And that is probably honestly a better model for people who don't work in the space, because it takes less of your time to be casually enjoying a game and sticking to the one game. But yeah, it just depends on the type of person you are at the end of the day.
By the way, fucking severe ADHD moment right here, bro. You're definitely gonna giggle out of this. I just realized you're in a new office. I'm looking at your Escanor poster back there. I'm like, holy, you're talking about something over there. And I'm like, that Escanor is sick.
Yeah, it gives that one.
And then I'm like, wait a minute, hold on. The Escanor is not just sick. Bro's in a new spot. What's happening? It just hit me right now, bro. It looks good, by the way, bro. It looks clean and crisp. You and MTash both got new offices, bro.
Yeah, I built a pod office in my backyard so that like I can work anytime now, not worry about the kids and the noise and all that sort of stuff. It's good. I got an aircon as well, which is perfect.
It's like a millionaire, man.
Temperature control.
Millionaire over here,
dude. It was about.
What's that, man? I want to talk to you about that seriously. You basically, because you're Australian language over there. You built a shed in the backyard for period.
No, it's not like, think of it like a granny flat, but it's a 1-room thing.
Okay.
Like so it's like
you built that from the ground up, like from scratch?
Oh, I didn't build it. There's just mobs that do it. I just said, let's build it.
That's what I mean. That's what I mean.
So it's got all like concrete stumps and it's like a proper framing of a house, except it's just 1 room and it's just got a roof and a door.
I had a client who did that exact same thing. He had a nice house, beautiful swimming pool, and then they built a little hub behind the pool. And it was so cool because they had their sitting desks in there and their gym and everything. But like I'm envisioning that's pretty much kind of what you did.
Yeah, except this is like a small bedroom size. Like I was looking. It's funny when you go and look at these things. It's like, yeah, okay, that's a reasonable price. Like that's perfectly doable. Like, yeah, that's fine. But what's the next bigger one look like? And then you start getting into like proper ones with like, kitchen, toilet, and then it's like you're getting up above $100,000. It's like, now we'll just go back to the basic one. Just put the aircon in it. We're good.
You know what's funny too, man, is when you realize how much you can customize it too. Because like I said, I'm using my client again as an example. Bro had he had speakers, he had like a bathroom put in, he had like mirrors put on the walls. I was like, damn, you really can like put some shit in there.
Yeah. It's funny, but
that's cool. It looks great. I'm sorry to derail us. It literally just dawned on me. We've been talking for, I don't know, 30 minutes now, and I'm like, wait, Volkin's in a new room. It looks good though. Anyways, to go into the next topic, I wanted to talk with you about, out of these gacha games, Azir Permilia, Infield, DNA, Black Beacon, Etheria Restart. Let's just go through them. How are you feeling about Azir Permilia?
I honestly am like, I know the whole general concept is Power World waifus gacha, like, but besides that, like, I just gotta wait and see, because they haven't had any demos or anything like that, have they?
I know nothing about the game. I was hoping you would. So
that's
heard
pretty
all the hype about it, but I don't know shit.
Yeah, it's one of those ones that I feel like there's a lot of hype over the concept, but I haven't seen any beta gameplay or anything like that. So it's kind of like
based answer.
I'm just waiting to see. At the end of the day,
based answer. Don't hype it up until you know what you're actually looking at. Fair enough. And how are you feeling about Arknight's Infield? Now, there's been a lot more information on this game. Did you get into the beta?
No, I didn't get into the beta. To be fair, like, people like, how did you not get into the beta? I simply didn't realize registration was on and I didn't apply. And then I hit them up the day of, and I'm like DMing every a member of staff in their Discord. I'm like, get me in, and then none of them replied. I'm like, oh, fuck you.
I hit up Chaotic and a couple of people trying to get in last minute. I was like, all right, man, whatever.
We did the same thing. Yeah.
We did the exact same thing. Well, anyways, I still want to talk about that game though, because
Yeah,
I
'cause we've
did
seen a
watch
fair
what
bit.
other people did.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks pretty good. It looks different. It looks like they're taking some risk with some of the systems in there. And I always admire risk. It looks drop dead gorgeous, but I know your concern is it's an open world model game. So are they gonna do the same Hoyo Sphere shit, or are they actually gonna cook up some unique stuff?
It's one of those ones, I feel like even though I've watched it, I need to play it to have a feel. And then I would also need to, I haven't watched any videos to see if anyone got to the end game in the beta. Like, I think it'll be a fun playthrough. That they all are fun. Like, there's none of those more casual open world games that is not fun as a playthrough. I just get to the end. It was like Wuthering Waves. Like, when I was covering Wuthering Waves on the other channel, like, that was doing well. Like, I was doing like sort of 50 to 100,000 views per video, which was
you were killing it.
pretty
I
good.
remember.
And then I did my Yinlin summons, and I was just like, I'm not really having fun. So I just went. I was just like, no, I'm just done. I just drop it. Like, I don't make the I quit videos. It's just like, I was like, I'm gonna go do something else. Like, and then I just did nothing for a month on that channel. Went back to the other channels, and then I was like, oh,
Zenless right now, bro.
And then I was like, oh, Zenless Zone Zero is releasing. I'll cover that. And then I opened it up on the launch day to reroll, and there was no skip button on the first cutscene when they said there was a skip button, and I uninstalled it, and I was just like, no.
Yeah.
So yeah, but yeah, so the open world thing, I don't know. I got to see. Also, I didn't like the look of the base building thing. That's just not me.
It looked a little clunky.
I did a sponsor on one of my other channels for the this DC Dark Legion game, which is like an idle game, but then it's got like the base building on top of it, which is cool in concept, but it just depends. The base building, once again, it depends. You'd have to play it. Some base building is just too, like, it feels too much like a job for me personally. And I'm a grinder, but like, that's not a fun grind to me. So I don't know. I'll have to wait and see. The base building could let me down. The general combat, the look of it looks good, but yeah, I just got to kind of get in and play.
I've kind of come to enjoy beautiful world design simply for the thought of like having a good just chatting moment while I'm live streaming. I know you're not as big of a live streamer. I love live streaming sometimes. And when they got a beautiful big open world like that, it's so easy to talk about what we're doing right now, actually, but you're also enjoying the scenery. It's a casual thing I never thought I'd appreciate, but I've come to learn to appreciate as I've spent more time in the space.
Yeah.
But Arcanite's Infield in particular, the thing that's attracted me the most, as usual, at the end of the day, we're still fucking combat nerds. I like their combat's so different from everybody else's, and it's got some meticulous things. Apparently, the dodge window is very tight in terms of its invulnerability frames. And then you got that 3-man swap system where you're like, it's interesting. I like the intricacies of it, and that interests me enough to give it a chance. I know you're going to give it a chance too. I was just saying that was a highlight for me. I was like, oh, this looks a bit different.
I have a hot take. So based on my understanding from watching a few videos, I could be wrong here. In the earlier beta, the combat was different, where it was more like almost like a strategy where you'd click something and then it would like slow time. They changed it, which a lot of people prefer. I actually, not having played either, I preferred the old one. So when the change came in to make it more like the Genshin, Wuthering Waves, like it's more active, less strategy, it kind of like, I was like, oh, but like everyone's like, oh, that combat was shit.
Mindset. You're in the minority is what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what's funny is like I never played it, so I didn't get to see what it was. I just heard all the negative Nancy's about it, but I never actually got to personally experience it.
Neither. That was just me looking at videos of both styles, and I was like, oh, that would have been real different. Like, I love the strategy style of thing, but
didn't they have the real time thing too, where you would cast and what's it called? NT, whatever the fuck it is, where you like slow down time to make a move. Didn't they have that originally? QTE. Yeah. QTE. There you go.
Quick time event.
I thought they had that in the original one.
Yeah, it was more like you click an ability and then it sort of slows time, and then you could telegraph where it was going to go and stuff like that. It was like, I feel, and once again, this is just through little bits of watching stuff, so I could be wrong there, but yeah, I love that kind of strategy feel, but now it feels more like the open world action RPG, which I'm just getting overwhelmed on. Like, fun for a playthrough to try and like sink into the game for a long period of time. Dude, I don't know.
No, I respect it. Quick break before we go into to DNA as the next title. Me and you need to secure a deal, a sponsor, to somewhere so we could go on vacation with our families.
Yes.
I want to hang out with you again, Volkin.
Yes, we've got to do that, man.
But the only way that's going to happen is through business.
Yeah, it's only if we're getting paid to do it. I ain't paying to go see Smack. Fuck that. You're not that good.
What we gotta do, man, is we gotta like secure one either like because Japan has the Tokyo Game Show, like something like that. It doesn't have to be that, but a show somewhere that has a big event that brings developers. We gotta get on top of it. We gotta be on top of that shit.
And I said that to the missus after the last one I did was AFK Journey, where I went to America. That's when I saw you, and I was like, listen, the next one of these I get, as long as payment can cover my family to come with me, I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm happy to just get a free trip and get the whole family along, and you know what I mean? So that's what we got to tee up. Shit. Yeah, definitely.
Volk, I'm on the same page. I genuinely, I just want to do it, obviously, for the whole experience, collaborate with devs. The devs are so friendly in person. Like, you're going to get all of the benefits over the fucking money you would be making. Like, all the benefits are going to be happening. It's the friends we made along the way, Volk.
100%. Really nice. As corny as it sounds, and I think you're the same as me, because you're pretty much an old fart now. You got second kid on the way and stuff. Like, you start to value that shit more. Like, you know what I mean?
For sure.
Over like,
we're so locked in.
Yeah, like it's like I always say, like I feel like in content creation, like you've got like three main things, which is like your popularity, your money, income, and fun. And so like I feel like the older you get, I feel like you start leaning into more of the fun. And then as long as the money's there and you're having fun, it's good enough. Whereas like who gives a shit about popularity and stuff? That's just more shit to hassle with. Whereas I feel like a lot of younger people want to get the popularity because then that can drive everything else more. But I feel like definitely we get to the point where it's like, it's more about having fun, making connections and enjoying yourself, as long as you're making enough money to sustain yourself whilst doing that.
Couldn't have said it better myself. First of all, second of all, just look at me and you right now. We're such good friends through the connection. You know what I mean? And what people don't understand is, as adults, you have less friends because you have more responsibilities with the family. And so being able to go on these business endeavors and connect with people is a beautiful thing, because you're going to go right back into your rabbit hole, clock in and do your normal routine or whatever. It's a breath of fresh air. It's a reset physically and mentally. But the other cool thing is, I think people sleep on this, Volk. You meet a lot of other content creators that share the same space as you, and you build a sense of camaraderie. It's kind of like a basketball team or a sports team. You build a sense of camaraderie with them. They get to know you on a personal level, and now things aren't so fucking awkward in the space. And so like you go back, you clock in, and now everybody's familiar with each other. We had a couple beers together. We had a couple of bond and kinship, and it's so much healthier versus, I don't know you, fuck you. Or I don't know you, I'm never gonna talk to you.
That actually reminds me of when I reached out to you. This was before your whole Tectone drama and everything. Back when you were like real small in Star Rail, when the you were Smack Daddy King, the little pop.
Smack Daddy King.
And one of my mates saw a video of you talking about family and stuff like that, and that's what made me reach out to you. I'm like, hey man, I'm just in the same boat. Like, if I can do anything, let me know, and shit like that.
That's fair, man. You know what's funny with me is I'm such an introvert, even though people think I'm an extrovert. And if you never would have reached out, I shit you not, probably never would have spoken, man. And it's like, that's something I know I could be better at, reaching out to people, being a bit more friendly, open-ended discussions. But I just thought that was worth mentioning on top of the vacation. But we can get back into, talking about these gacha games. Duet Night Abyss.
Duet Night Abyss.
Share your raw opinions.
So
unfiltered.
My problem with that game, I think I don't know, maybe they have more quality of life, but I think the stamina grind is going to be too grindy. The game is cool. Like, the concept of that, like I in my videos for it, because I did the sponsor for it, I love it when you feel like you're cheating in a game. Like the way you could do like the shooting in the air, but you'd like go so damn fast and you wouldn't drop. And I love stuff like that. The maneuverability in the game, the one where you do the slide and then you look up and you go badoosh, and you go up. Like, the movement in the game felt fantastic. The wave content of, just like slaughter things felt really good as well. And like, it felt really good as a playthrough game. I know a lot of people, like, something I never really care about is how high quality the models and stuff are. I know a lot of people were criticizing the game over the models, and it doesn't look like Genshin against polished as Genshin. That stuff never really bothers me. The thing that got to me was like those scenarios where you got waves and waves of enemies to kill and stuff like that. It's fun. But when that is your daily stamina grind, where you've got to spend, jump into a zone and you got to set a node, defend the node, go to the next node, defend the node, go to the next node, defend the node, not on auto, all manual play, I don't know how much that grind is going to get to me.
I think you clocked it. I do, Volk. I think you clocked it perfectly because what's funny is that was my experience. And this is the thing. The DNA devs were fucking awesome. I met them in Japan. They've been awesome behind the scenes. Great team to talk with. But if we're going to be objective here, I think you clocked it perfectly. When I did one of the daily modes, I was just like, holy shit, how am I still doing this? Like as a
dude, I was 8 minutes into one run. That's like going into Star Rail and doing one run for a piece of gear, and you spend 8 minutes manually playing it. I was like, no, because I hit you up. I'm like, the game's fun, but there's no shot this is going to be the loop.
Yeah, because it's too many. And then some modes weren't as bad as others, but it doesn't matter when you realize all of them tie into developing your characters. It's just, you're absolutely right. You're going to get to the end game. You're going to do that. And you're going to realize, holy fuck, I'm spending literally 2 hours just to do my dailies.
Yeah, but they had some fun shit too. Like the demon wedges. Like I made a video on this because I just found it too cool. Like, and I basically copied Tobias's video. I'm like, he did it with one character. I'm like, wait, I can do that with the chick with the double pistols. Whereas like you get all the I forget what it's called, but the energy regeneration on your demon wedges, and you get so much of it. And there's a support character that keeps boosting it, and you can basically sit in your like some of the characters have an alt mode where they change mode, and then like the chick I was playing, she just goes shoots the guns the whole time. But you can basically have an infinite.
In the air.
Yeah, you can basically have an infinite amount of energy and just do it the whole time. So like, once I found that, I'm like, this ain't too bad, because then you got to like in the stage where it's like kill 100 enemies, you just literally stand there and hold left click, and it's just like kadoosh, 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 kadoosh. And it's like, I was like, I mean, that's kind of fun, but yeah, like the time and manual play is too much. Like I know a lot of people think like auto plays like stupid, like why are you auto playing? But if it's auto playing to do something that is a mindless, non-engaging thing.
I've had a complete 180 on that. Oh no, I used to be one of those people, but then I realized in gacha games you have chores. So if you're gonna give me a chore, give me a fucking auto play.
Give me a sweep ticket or a fucking auto play.
Absolutely. I will say though that my biggest problem with the game was definitely the daily repetitive grind, like you stated. But I think the other problem was the Fuck, I just lost my train of thought. Fuck me. I had it in my head. Hold on.
Yeah, you'll find it. You'll find it.
Let me cook.
Wait, is it on the ground behind you? I think you dropped it.
No, I found it. Okay.
Don't lose it again.
I remember now. I remember now. It was for me, and you let me know if you disagree or not. The game felt very unpolished. I know it's a beta, and betas are unpolished, but it felt sloppy in a lot of ways. When I was doing certain moves, I didn't really feel the empowerment of the move like being activated. And if the move was hitting enemies, it didn't feel like it was like, I don't know, maybe Monster Hunter's God tier in this regard. So that might be my expectations were set a bit high with it. But like the moves I was doing didn't feel a real weighty connection with them. And when I was sitting there doing the whip slash with the fucking hot purple chick girl, it just felt like it was like a wet noodle, you know?
Yeah.
It was doing damage, but it just didn't feel good. So I think that goes into the category of refinement and polish.
Yeah, 100%. And that's why I said at the start, a lot of people like character models and stuff, they thought it wasn't quite as polished either. And I think that's just like, and I don't know if you can get that level of like, I don't know if that polish is as simple as polishing your car and then it's there. Like I think that like that's back to the bones. Like I'm thinking you got to take the doors off. You got to fucking redo the hinges. You know what I mean? Like you got to actually...
Fair. You know? That's fair. I think you might be onto something there. And if that's the case, though, that's a problem for me. I don't care about the character models either, Vol. I'm right there with you. I'm all about fucking gameplay. But the gameplay didn't feel like in terms of the moves connecting.
The thing that killed me the most was I was playing the chick with the guns. The ammo system is just... I was in a boss, and because there's a boss, you're not killing anyone, so you got to break the boss to get ammo, but I didn't break the boss by the time I ran out of ammo, so I'm using a ranged character, and now I can't use my gun.
Yeah, you got... dude, I had that problem in the very first beta, and I realized, I was like, I can't do anything to this boss. I gotta reset.
Yeah, I mean, all my skills are around using ranged weapons. Yes, I've got a melee weapon, but that does jack shit for me. So now I just kind of quit and come back with more ammo.
That's the next topic. How do you feel? I personally am not a fan of every character being able to use any weapon they want. And the reason I'm not is because I'm like, well, this is not the katana guy. Everybody's the katana person now.
Everyone can use any weapon they want, but they all have the masteries tied into it. So you're...
that kind of linear path to what you should be building them for. Yeah. Okay, that's fair.
Because that's more flair.
You know what, Volk? I didn't notice that. Thank you,
Okay.
because that was like concerning to me. I was like, nobody has a real like commitment to something. It's just like throw whatever the fuck you want to throw on them.
Yeah, it was like the chick I was playing with the guns, and like her main thing is pistols. But then I found there was a sword that generated really fast energy. So it's like I was doing this endless ult build, and so it was like, well, I don't even care about upgrading my guns because all I'm doing is my ult. And when you're in your ult, you're in like your special weapon mode, so it's not actually your guns. And then I was like, if I run out of energy, I just smack things with the sword, do no damage, but get the energy back and then go back into ult mode. So like they did have good customization and stuff like that.
First of all, beautiful fucking cook. You just open the realms up of what the satisfying elements of the game, and that's cool. I like that. Yeah, I don't know. I think Arknight's Infield, Do at Night Abyss has some potential. It definitely needs to fix up on a couple of things though. But in advance, I already know what you're gonna say. Just play Warframe, bro. Relax, little bro. All right, we're Gacha players.
We're degenerates. Yeah, no. I think I don't think it's going to be as big as any of the other big releases, but I think definitely people are going to have fun with it.
It's got a niche.
You know, it's kind of like Arknight's Enfield. Like people who enjoy that base building and stuff like that, I think they're definitely going to enjoy. I think Arknight's will be bigger, but we'll have to wait and see. What was the next one on the list?
Yeah, I was just about to call it Black Beacon, and both me and you are definitely sponsored in the very near
I just got a brief. I just got a brief for it, so we're both sponsored for it. But I don't think we have to say anything nice in this one. I honestly have no idea. All I know that it is by the ex people who worked on Punishing Grey Raven. Yeah. I believe, and it's an action RPG.
You bring me to the talking point. Fuck you, man. I was gonna say, I thought you didn't know. I was gonna be like,
come on, mate. Yeah, no. I haven't even read the brief for what I got to do. I've seen one little trailer when I was streaming about 3 weeks ago, and I don't really know too much else besides that. So I'm keen to get in and actually take a look at it.
I same here. I'm very excited. And by the way, just pointing it out, I don't give a fuck if I was sponsored or not. I'm still gonna say my truth. That's just how I am. But I think Black Beacon, it's gonna have to. Here's a hot take. It cannot just copy the Hoyo model. If it does, I think it's just gonna fail. We're getting numb to that. It has to ramp up your brain dead hack and slash. I think element. It has to be a Punishing Grey Raven.
Have you ever played Punishing Grey Raven?
I haven't.
So you see, that was still.
But I watched it and I was like, "This is too much for me. I can't even appreciate my abilities because every ability is a 10 out of 10. So I can't appreciate it."
So for me, it was like so. My favorite two action RPGs from like just my enjoyment in playing them. And it's also probably because neither of them are open world, and I'm not a big fan of the open world. But it was Punishing Grey Raven and Solo Leveling Arise. People hate it when I say that because it's Netmarble, but dude, it might also just because I love solo leveling and like the anime is absolutely fire at the moment. I read the manhwa like before I played the game, and then like doing the fights in the game was fantastic. But dude, it's just so fun. And the guy who the English voice actor for
he's really good, dude. Jinwoo.
Yeah, that guy's voice is just so good for it. Like when he goes, "Arise," and I'm like, "Fuck! I wish I had that voice." Yeah, the dude nails it.
It's the ultimate self-insert anime. It's funny because some anime fans are like, they hate self-inserts, but I never have a problem with it, bro, because it's just like, that's what a guy should be striving to do, bro. Have the ultimate fucking Giga Chat energy.
Yes, it's so good. Yeah, and because he starts out as the little dweeb. Dude, anyway, yeah, I love that game. But Punishing Grey Raven, back to the point I was talking about. Yeah. I loved that game. That was years ago that I covered it. But like a lot of people look at it who didn't play it and go, "Oh, the color matching is kind of stupid," but it was dynamic. Every time you play that character, it's completely different. Like your objective's still the same, but you're always playing on edge because you don't know what's going to drop next, and you've got to do that matching system. And it was one of the few action RPGs that played better on phone than PC because that shit was impossible to keybind. So I was always playing it on my phone, and like I loved it because every time you play the character, there's something a little bit different. It's not just this cooldown, this cooldown, this cooldown.
Would you say playing it on the phone would be similar to like playing like maybe a music note game? You know what I mean?
No. So
same type of dopamine where you're hitting these music notes.
Nah. It was just easier because my brain couldn't. Because you got like 8 orbs that drop. Just trying to keybind that shit. My brain couldn't do the keybind because it's like if there's 3, you have it like lined up 1, 2, 3, and then it's like okay, that's easy. But the way I was trying to do it, like with the keyboard with all those, and you had to go into multiple rows. I'd always get the wrong one. So on the phone, it was just easier to go that orb. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because you're just tapping it. So like the brain connection's way easier on phone.
Yeah, I feel like that's a musical game, to be honest, but I could be wrong. I could be waffling. Not like the actual whole entire combat. I mean, just that element of it.
I know what you're saying, but it's like there's no rhythm to it though.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? Okay. There's absolutely no rhythm. It's like, okay, what gives me the quickest path to the ability that I want to use with the combos that I have?
By the way, and I'm sure I've heard nobody ever say that game's combat was bad, so I know you're cooking. But I think that would be so fun if there was a rhythm combat induced game, bro. Like the music's popping off in the background.
I'm sure there's some of those like K-pop idol ones you can jump into if you want to. Smack like Smack's new channel.
You picked the most. Oh my god, you picked the most corny shit, bro. Yeah. I'm talking about some banger music, like dead ass, like popping music, and you're fighting this boss, super intense fight. And not only do you have to compute the mechanics, but you also have to stay on.
Like
beat.
the music from the big bird on the hill in Wuthering Waves. That music was sick.
Yeah. That's what I mean. That's what I'm talking about. Not the fucking Hello Kitty shit, bro. Come on, man. Give me a break, bro. All right. Well, anyways, if Black Beacon ends up being a punishing Grey Raven in 2025, I think it will also fulfill a niche too. And I'm gonna try it bare minimum. Obviously, I'm sponsored, but I was gonna try it even if I wasn't sponsored.
Look at him. He's gonna tell his real thoughts. He's just chilling already, just trying to get an extra bag.
Next one on the list, which we kind of talked about it already. You're going to carry this conversation. I actually got to fucking go. You know what? I'm going to push it past 15 minutes. We're going to 15 more minutes, Volkin, then I got to go. But Etheria Restart, try to sum it up. What are the elements about it? And I want to challenge you on this one because you already know what these fucking people are going to say in this community. How does it separate itself from HSR, and how does it actually have the same elements of HSR? Because I think that's important for an HSR player and who potentially might want to delve into that to know.
So from HSR, the thing it's similar in, like core is anime aesthetic and turn-based game. Everything else, like it's got HSR's gearing system as well, but that was taken from these other games. So at its core,
I think that's a positive though.
At its core, it's not like it's not trying to be the next HSR. It's trying to be the next Summoners War, Raid, Ep16, those style of games. Okay. So it's not trying to be. It's just because it's anime that a lot of people go, oh, it's trying to be the next Star Rail, but it's copying the model of the others, where it's got they've already had in the beta, they had a real-time arena tournament with creators and stuff like that. They're going to be doing more of that. It's very PvP focused, but it's very free to play friendly in terms of dupes, and there's no weapon banner. They've got shells, which are kind of like your weapons, but you farm them. The duping system is...
That's what I like to fucking hear, folks.
...is just stats that get added on, like, extra attack, extra HP. The full character's kit is unlocked when you get the character. There is no get the second dupe to unlock getting an extra turn when you break an enemy.
Don't change the functionality of the character in any capacity.
Which is I'm cool with. And I'm pretty sure in the beta, the dupes did not work in real-time arena. They did in the standard arena. But the dupes don't affect the real-time arena. That might change. I'm not too sure. I can't remember exactly. For those that don't know, I sweated the fuck out of the beta. I finished rank 1 in arena in the beta and rank 2 in real-time arena. So that's why I'm super pat. Like, I no-lifed this game. I made like 2 videos, but for like 2 weeks of the beta, it was all I did. I just locked in and like I went dark on everything while I was playing it because I was having that much fun. The other thing is the banner system. Shits on any banner system you have. They have a rate up banner and a standard banner, and there's a rate up and a standard for both the standard elements and the light dark elements. Wow. And so I believe, and we got to wait and see, get it confirmed, but when a new character drops, they get their rate up banner, but they also go into the standard banner pool. On top of that, you can still pull light dark units from the standard banner as well. But your rate up banner has a higher pity. It's a 100 pity with no soft pity, but it's guaranteed whenever you hit that 5-star, it's going to be that character. So if you go all the way to pity, you're guaranteed to get that character. You know what it's going to take to get there. If you get it early and beat the pity, it's guaranteed to be that character still. So whereas the standard version of the banner, which when a new character comes out, they're still in that, but you're competing with all the other characters. I think it had a 80 hard pity and a 50 soft pity.
And Volk, is your recording looking okay on your side? It's
dude, Discord always sketches out. Yeah, that's fine. My recording's fine.
Fuck off, man.
Yeah, so it's got like what I think is one of the better pity systems in a game.
Oh, definitely, based off what you said.
Yeah, and like I said, it's a grindy game, but the thing I love about it, if you've played Summoners War, Ep16 or Raid, a lot of what you do is leveling up low, like weak champions or heroes or characters to get them to 5 stars so that you can feed them to your 5-star characters. You need to feed a 5-star character 5 stars to go up to 6-star and get them maxed out. And so a lot of the time in these games you spend is just sitting in a campaign stage, repeatedly killing enemies to level up weak units.
And
they got rid of that.
You just explained. It seems like the more weaker units, if they're pretty much become fodder. And
they're just fodder units. Yeah,
I love that because now there's a real purpose for them.
Yeah, no. But in this game, there is no, like, if you summon another copy of character, it's kind of like Star Rail. You kind of get the dupe, but the you actually have uses for those dupes to upgrade your characters and stuff like that. But the way they do the ranking up is you get it all through events, core game modes and stuff like that. And so there's no more, like, when you're playing the game, you're actually playing the game to get gear and get something that's going to upgrade your account. On top of that, it's got the best background mode I've ever seen. So you can start a dungeon run going for gear, and you can say, run that in the background. You can go and do anything. You can go play some arena, do anything else, or you can just go ahead and farm the weapons. So you can farm 2 things at once. The other thing is you can set it to background farm for however many runs you want it to do. And then you can turn your phone off, come back 20 minutes later on your PC, log in, and it's still been doing it in the background. So like, it's
respecting the time.
It's got a like good quality of life plus good core systems. And like I said, I just love those games. I'm competitive as fuck in them, and it was just honestly a lot of fun. So I just enjoyed it.
No, I think you explained it pretty well-roundedly, honestly. It seems to me like they've took some of the extractions that make HSR appealing to a turn-based player, put them in there, but then they've took the better in-game replayable loop of the games like Summoner's War and the other ones you listed to make the game obviously a better game in the end game once you catch up to that grind.
Yeah.
I think anytime you talk about a game like that, and I hear a little bit of passion leaking out of you, I'm sold. Right, I guess this is the moment where the viewer falls for the content creators. And I'm the viewer right now. You've convinced me at least to try it. And it's this thing; they're free fucking games. So at the bare minimum, I want to give it a shot. But all right, thanks for filling us in on that, Volk. What about NTE and Ananta? We can wrap these into a little bundle, and then I got to split.
I think the general consensus is that Ananta's going to be the better game. Besides that, I mean, they're both open. Like, once again, open world, it'd be a fun playthrough for me. I don't think I'm going to stick around in either of them long. I think they're going to become games kind of like, the general Hoyoverse of games where it's like, you got people that'll love them. You got people that'll hate. Like, it just falls into that same category. I'm just so done with that. I want to get into games that are, like, I can just grind and enjoy the game as the game part.
Respect it.
Yeah.
I get it. In fact, that we went through that kind of quicker than we thought. That's completely fine. You kind of share the same thing, honestly. I'm trying to still waiting on information too from an answer before
you got to see it. Yeah.
Yeah, but what I wanted to say is HSR global passive. We'll end it off with that. What is your take on that whole situation, by the way?
I find it kind of funny because I think it was in our first ever podcast where we were talking about 3 summons for the Genshin thing versus 10 summons for Star Rail.
I tell everybody you were right. I do.
And I just said you got to understand. Eventually, Star Rail is going to become the Genshin. Like, it's just the way it is. And I don't know if I said that in the podcast or I said it to you off camera. And so honestly, seeing the global passives, I kind of enjoy it because I'm like let's face it, like, I started a fresh account in Star Rail to try and get some fun after the Etheria, and then I found Raid, and so I've been doing that. It was kind of like, first of all, it's shit. They shouldn't do it, but
yeah,
because I'm not invested, it's kind of like,
don't give a fuck.
I'm just like, nailed it.
At this point, Volk, I'm just full-blown Team Volk on that. Now I'm just waiting on when it's going to happen in ZZZ. But see, ZZZ, I feel like they've still been fighting to gain, the success of their predecessors.
ZZZ is too niche that people won't care about it enough for that sort of stuff for it to become an issue.
I think they're going to be... they're getting treated the way El Hoyo games should have been treated, which is keep them hungry, bro.
Yeah. So,
man, honestly,
I mean, like, I kept in touch with it. Like, I was a bit late getting into it because people told me on stream about it, and I didn't actually know, and I just sort of got that little sense of that's kind of funny. But like,
no, it's good stuff.
And I see the conversation of, it's a PvE game, who really cares? And like, I know people get mad at that, but it's like, you got to remember, I come into these games so different to other people because I don't spend in any of them. And I get it's a trap for spending, but I'm like, my thing is, yes, model. It's shit. They shouldn't do it. But I also think at the end of the day, people have to have accountability for themselves as well. So I'm a big
respect.
two things can be true at the same time. Yes, the company can be absolute scumbags, and like I've got no, I would never defend StarRail in any capacity. Like I'm not trying to do that, but I'm also a big one on yes, that can be bad, but you can also have the self-control not to spend.
Don't be greedy
or
and
just
stupid.
move on. And like we talk about, there's so many good games. Just go play something else. Like it's. Yeah, I get it, but yeah, they shouldn't be doing it. But it's kind of it's just one of those. Whenever you can say "I told you so," it just feels good. So that's about it.
Volk, I am a number one "I told you so" kind of guy. So like, trust me, I fucking get it, man. The last thing I wanted to talk about. Oops, wrong channel. Give me a second here, Volk.
Right.
Is I do have you looked at in any capacity this game right here?
No, you said one, and I had no idea what you were talking about.
This is the one right here. Have you looked at this in any capacity?
What's it on? PS5?
I'll be honest, the name is a bit fucking absurd. It's absurd. But and we're not
What's it called? What's it
because
called?
I don't want to scuff it up. It's called Claire Obscure Expedition 33. I know it's an insane name, but Volk, it is a beauty of a turn-based game. I mean, this game's I feel like it's taken the next. This is the first time I've seen a turn-based game.
That chick's hair did not look real. It looked like it was fixed. Anyway, sorry.
It's okay. It's got QTE elements. I'm just gonna show it real quick. It's got QTE elements, Volk, in a turn-based sequence game, and you have to time things and stuff. But it looks like it's just evolved turn-based for what you would expect a turn-based game to see. If you were a turn-based player 10 years ago, you would think this is what turn-based is going to look like in 10 years from now.
Yeah.
And so like I was watching this and I was like, damn, I got to show this to Volk because I know you like turn-based games bare minimum.
Yeah, so that looks like one back in the days when I had my chipped Xbox that I would have bought at the market and then sat down for an entire weekend and played with the boys.
Yeah, and I think it's that kind of game, Volk. I think it's the kind of game, it's a single-player game. You get in there, you enjoy the experience for what it is, and then you say, oh, that was one of the fucking best games I've played in turn-based.
Yeah, and then you shelve it, and then you just have those memories, and that's
yeah.
And I think that's one of the big problems with gacha games is people are looking for that feeling out of a gacha game, but because they're live service, you've got to keep getting there, and then you just get just worn down by it. Whereas I think a lot of gacha games, especially the casual ones, I mean, just jump in, play it, enjoy it for what it is, and move on. Don't get too invested, but obviously, you come back for the story. But that's just the way I approach it.
Do you like what you're seeing? First of all, I agree. But do you like what you're seeing?
That looks super clean. Yeah.
It looks fucking cool, man. I just hope it's as good as it looks. And you know what's funny? It's actually discounted. It's $45 on Steam, I believe. So it's not even a full price game, which really tripped me out because this looks AAA easily.
And how much are you getting paid for your sponsorships, Mac?
Zero. I hope I was getting. Actually, you know what? That's a good point. Fuck it. This game
the game's shit.
All right, man. Well, listen, dude. Hey, Volk, this was a great episode. I'm so glad we got back to it, man. Hey, listen, I'm not going to make any promises to you, YouTube, but me and Volk will definitely never stop doing this.
Yeah, we'll never stop. If we have a 6-month break, it's cool. Like, we'll just slap it back up. I've got nothing else on the channel at the moment. I'm just waiting for stuff, so we'll just fill it in.
Much love to you guys, though, and we'll see you in the next one.
Catch.